So where do we go from here? Assuming the exterior isn't going to change, we can map out exactly how much space we have inside the Landship. Assuming each floor is 6 blocks, this gives us 24 decks. You might think 6 blocks is really tall, but the 6 block space is going to include both the ceiling and the floor, so the actual headspace ends up being not as tall. For the deck numbers, I'm going to number them from the ground up like a building. Normally, ocean-faring ship decks are numbered from the main deck downward, but this is a land ship, and like other buildings that are on land, it's going to go up from 1 to 24. Now, I'm not a designer, architect, carpenter, nor engineer. I have no professional experience designing buildings or interior spaces. All I have is my experience playing Minecraft and YouTube architecture videos. If my interior layout looks atrocious, yeah, sorry about that. Do let me know if there's something that can be improved, and I'll see what I can do. But before we get started placing blocks down, from my experience, planning is the key to a successful project. We're going to start first with the rooms that we can't relocate. This is going to involve any rooms that is connected to something on the exterior, like this shipping area to this big warehouse store, or the land vehicle garage to the vehicle elevator. Or this room to this random opening. I have no idea what this is for. If you guys have any idea what this could be, let me know your ideas in the comments below. Okay, now that we have these blocked out, we will need to map out the rooms that go, well, everywhere else. And to do that, we're going to just use an image editor, so it'll be easier to change and modify the design before I put it down in blocks. The big question now is, what kind of rooms does Rhodes Island have? In the official art, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different rooms? Is this one the same as this one? I don't really know. Let's say they're different. They're labeled differently on the wiki anyway. Oh, we also have a picture of the hallway. Well, that isn't nearly enough to fill the entirety of Rhodes Island. Oh, we also have the in-game base system. Okay, and then we can add the trading post, factory, power plant, dormitory, reception room, workshop, office, training room, distinctly different from the training compound, and the control center, distinctly different from the bridge or the command center. The dormitory is also different from the living quarters we see here, so I'm going to assume that these are common rooms or recreational areas for each dormitory section. This is to say I'm going to make another assumption and say what we see here is just an abstract view of the rooms on the ship. We never see the operators leave the rooms anyway. Now we need more rooms that would be necessary for the functional operation of such a land ship. Let's start with the medical facilities. Rhodes Island is by principle a medical company, and according to the lore, it houses a large population of people who are seeking treatment. We will need to find housing for them and their family close by. We're going to need the equivalent of a modern hospital inside the ship itself. We will also need research facilities for the research and development of oropathy cures. I expect this area to take up a large percent of the ship that's not dedicated to housing. And with any large gathering of people, we will need amenities for them, including recreational areas and a light selection of stores. General goods, food, clothing, we'll see. With the 10,000 max person occupancy, Rhodes Island will need a robust internal mail delivery team to deliver people's paper mail, so that will include mail rooms around the ship. Housing this many people will require a large amount of water storage or water generation, a large stockpile of food, or an agricultural area. Let's use this big thing as the primary water storage for Rhodes Island, and let's include a hydroponics area to supplement the typical food storage. Perfumer also manages a garden known as the Convalescence Garden, so we'll need to include that. We will also need office space for those who are not strictly working in the hospital. We need an engineering area for Closure and her department. I'm running out of ideas. Let's see if we get some inspiration from ships in real life and see what kind of rooms they have. Okay. We got a lot more rooms here. Armory and smithy for weapon maintenance, operations room, laundry room, bathrooms, data processing, radio room, vents and AC maintenance rooms, electrical maintenance rooms, meteorological rooms, fuel storage for vehicles. Squadron ready rooms and briefing areas, wastewater reclamation, garbage disposal. Alright, I'm out of colors, huh? This is a lot of rooms, and I'm sure I'm missing stuff left and right, but at least I can get started with this. We'll fill in whatever is missing later. I guess I should address some of the design choices I've taken with the exterior. Over here, we have the ground vehicle elevator, and in the official art, there's no such thing as far as we know. But we have seen operators use cars and other ground vehicles, so they exist in the universe, and it would be nice if the Landship could pick them up. I had originally considered making a large ramp door out the back, but it felt pretty high off the ground, so the ramp would have had to been huge. So I stuck with these two vehicle elevators. Over in the front here, we have this central area that is almost completely hidden in the official art. So to me, this area is some kind of ore processing area. According to the wiki, Rhodes Island was originally a kind of mining rig used by Rim Bilton, so I figured a retrofitted mining rig would still have its core mining bits attached somewhere. So here you would deposit the mined ore and rocks here, and then it would get sorted and cleaned here, where after it would go into Rhodes Island proper and get processed from there. Oh, and this thing comes down to block the conveyor if there's like dangerous stuff or something. I don't know. Terra seems like a pretty hostile place where an emergency stop button might come in handy. I might change some stuff here in the future. You might be curious what I did to the starboard side of the ship. Well, yeah, it's basically just a copy of the port side, but without the landing deck. If we head to the back, you can see the crane here doesn't have a place for someone to operate it from. It didn't seem like it had one in the original images, and I think it'd be cool if it was remote controlled from a separate room. If you take a look at this landing pad here on top, there's literally nothing around it. Like, what are you supposed to do after you land here and get off? So I made this bit over here as an area you can head down into the Landship. Have you wondered where the windows are on the Landship? Yeah, I think some of the animators were also wondering that too, because in this short animation that they showed in the 3rd anniversary video, they put the windows here. Well, I don't see any windows here, do you? So, no windows. But wait! The dorm rooms have windows. Well, problem is we can't really fit 10,000 windows on this ship and not have it look like Swiss cheese. So we're just gonna pretend that these are some fancy screens that show you a picture of the outside. Yeah, that works. Who needs sunlight anyway? And that's about it. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave them in the comments below, especially if you notice something in the lore. There's a lot of lore in Arknights, and I'm hoping you guys can help me spot any details pertaining to the Landship. Until next time, stay safe.